For years the world looked at Yu Long and Yang Meimei as if they were celestial beings who had descended onto the stage of life simply to dazzle, perform, and inspire. He was the radiant star who rose like fire in the night sky, commanding attention with every role, every song, every fleeting smile that felt like it had been crafted for eternity. She was the heart of the nation, luminous with a kind of grace that made people believe in resilience, vulnerability, and the soft beauty of human connection. Together, they created storms wherever they went, their chemistry so palpable that fans and critics alike whispered, wondered, and prayed that the impossible fairy tale they embodied might be true. Yet in the shadows of their glamour lay a silence, a secret so carefully woven into their careers that it became part of the performance itself, until one day, the silence cracked. The announcement came without warning, shaking the foundations of the entertainment world. The agency that had crafted both Yu Long and Yang Meimei's images called for an urgent press conference. No details were given, and the internet went wild with guesses. Some claimed it was about a new international project. Others suspected it was another carefully staged promotional stunt. But those who had followed the pair for years felt a chill they couldn't explain. The tension, the way the stars had recently appeared tired and withdrawn, the heaviness that seemed to follow them, it was all building toward something. When reporters filled the press hall that autumn morning and fans across the globe tuned into the live stream, they didn't know they were about to witness history. The stage was set in somber tones, and the moment the CEO stepped forward with Yu Long and Yang Meimei beside him, the air froze. The idols were not dressed in their usual dazzling fashion but in muted simplicity, eyes cast downward, their usual poise replaced with something raw and uneasy. The CEO began to speak, voice grave, and the room leaned forward into silence. After years of speculation, he said, "We believe it is time to address the truth directly. Our artists Yu Long and Yang Meimei have carried a burden in silence, one that the public has every right to know." The shockwave was instant. Fingers flew across keyboards as journalists scrambled to record, while fans online flooded chats with frantic disbelief. And then, like a dam breaking, the truth poured out. The agency revealed that Yu Long and Yang Meimei had not only been colleagues, not only been friends, but had in fact been in a relationship for nearly 5 years. Their bond had formed quietly during the filming of Winter's Promise, where their on-screen tenderness had seeped off camera and blossomed into something undeniable. For years, while the world debated their stolen glances and matching accessories, while fans wrote thousands of theories in online forums, their love had been real, hidden under the suffocating weight of agency contracts and public expectations. But that was not all. The revelation deepened into heartbreak as the agency confessed to a secret it had buried under layers of press releases and distractions. 2 years earlier, Yang Meimei had discovered she was pregnant. The agency, panicked and calculating, feared the end of 2 golden careers if the truth became public. A pregnancy meant scandal, loss of endorsements, an unshakable shift in the public's perception of their carefully polished idols. The solution was merciless. Cover up the truth, silence the whispers before they started, and send Yang Meimei into hiatus under the guise of health concerns. Behind the curtain, she carried the weight of hope and fear, with Yu Long by her side in stolen moments. But fate struck cruelly when she suffered a miscarriage, a private devastation that shattered their hearts while the world remained blissfully unaware. As if that weren't enough, the agency admitted to binding both stars with contracts of silence, strict clauses that forbade them from speaking about their relationship or their loss. In exchange, they were promised opportunities, roles, endorsements, the glittering path of success they had already been walking. And so they smiled for the cameras. They held back tears during award shows. They let the world believe the illusion that they were untouched by the storms of ordinary human love and grief. Until the cracks became too deep to ignore, and the truth, like a living thing, forced its way to the surface. The revelation sent fans into chaos. Within minutes, global trends exploded with hashtags. Hashtag Yu Long Meimei Truth, hashtag Agency Exposed, hashtag Protect Meimei. Thousands of live stream reaction videos appeared almost instantly. Some fans wept openly, their hearts aching for the pain their idols had endured in silence. Others raged not at YuLong or Yang Meimei, but at the agency that had caged them in contracts and forced them to hide love as if it were shameful. They suffered so much just to bring us happiness, one fan cried during a broadcast. I can't believe the agency silenced them like this. Yet others, though fewer, felt betrayed. We gave them loyalty and they gave us lies, one comment read, sparking furious debates in forums. Should stars owe their personal truths to fans? Was privacy a right, or did their fame make honesty an obligation? The lines blurred, and emotions flared like wildfire. When YuLong finally stepped forward to speak, the room stilled again. His voice, usually commanding on stage, trembled with vulnerability. I wanted to protect Meimei, he said, eyes glistening under the unforgiving lights. I wanted to protect all of you, the fans who gave us everything. But I realize now that protecting with lies only breaks trust. I am sorry for staying silent for so long. But please know, every role I played, every song I sang, I carried her with me. Yang Meimei followed, her poise fractured into something more human, more piercing. I was told that love was dangerous, that being true to myself meant losing everything I worked for. And I believed it until I couldn't anymore. What happened to me, to us, is painful, but it is also real. And I want to stop pretending. I want to live, not just act. Her words echoed through the hall, through screens around the world, leaving countless fans in tears. The fallout was immediate and merciless. Industry insiders warned of endorsement withdrawals and canceled projects. Advocacy groups called for sweeping reforms, demanding protection for artists from manipulative agency contracts that turned their lives into commodities. Lawsuits loomed, headlines roared, and rival agencies circled like vultures. Yet paradoxically, YuLong and Yang Meimei's popularity surged. Instead of dwindling, their fanbase grew fiercer, more loyal than ever. Campaigns were launched under the banner of protecting their freedom, raising millions in support of mental health awareness in their names. Streaming platforms, sensing the magnitude of the story, reportedly entered bidding wars for rights to documentaries chronicling their ordeal. Writers began scripting dramas inspired by their forbidden love and devastating loss, blurring the line between art and reality. The most unforgettable moment, however, came at the end of the press conference. As reporters shouted questions and cameras flashed like lightning, YuLong reached out and took Yang Meimei's hand. It wasn't a fleeting gesture, nor a carefully staged illusion. It was raw, defiant, and final. She squeezed back, her fingers trembling but sure, and in that instant, the years of silence broke apart like shattered glass. The image traveled across the world within seconds, immortalized as a symbol of rebellion and truth. Fans who had dreamed of this connection for years erupted into sobs and cheers, for it was no longer fantasy. It was real, undeniable, and unafraid. The world will not look at YuLong and Yang Meimei the same way again. They are no longer perfect idols on unreachable pedestals, but human beings who dared to love when they were told not to, who endured loss in silence, and who finally broke free. Their story is now part of entertainment history, not as fiction but as a revelation that carried the weight of 1,000 dramas. As the dust settles, the questions remain. Will YuLong and Yang Meimei rebuild their careers on their own terms? Will the industry learn from their suffering and create space for authenticity? Or will the cycle of control and silence continue for the next generation of stars? No one knows for certain. But what is undeniable is that their truth has carved a path that cannot be erased, a reminder that behind the glamour and the lights, idols bleed, grieve, and love just like the rest of us. Perhaps the greatest irony of all is that this revelation, so shocking and painful, has brought them closer to their fans than ever before. In the end, YuLong and Yang Meimei's love story, long hidden, refused to die. It burst into the open like a storm, rewriting the narrative not just of their lives, but of the entire industry. For the fans who witnessed it, it was more than scandal. It was the most powerful plot twist imaginable, a truth stranger, and more moving than fiction. And in a world that feeds on stories, this one will be told again and again, not for its secrecy, but for its courage. When the truth about Yu Long and Yang Meimei finally broke, the entertainment world didn't just shift, it erupted. Fans thought the story would end with that press conference, but in reality, it was only the beginning of something larger, deeper, and perhaps even more dangerous. Behind the flashing cameras and viral headlines, the revelation unleashed ripple effects that no one, neither the stars nor their agency, could have predicted. Within 24 hours of the press conference, media outlets across Asia and beyond scrambled to secure exclusive interviews. News anchors dissected every frame of the broadcast, replaying YuLong's trembling voice and Yang Meimei's tearful confession as if they were the final episode of a record-breaking drama. On social platforms, fans launched campaigns not just in support of the couple, but against the system that had forced them into silence. Petition after petition circulated online, demanding reform in the entertainment industry, urging agencies to grant their stars freedom to live as humans, not puppets. Hashtags trended for days. Hashtag free to love, hashtag justice for Meimei, and hashtag end the contracts. The internet became a battlefield between diehard supporters and skeptics, but one truth was undeniable: no one could look away. Meanwhile, whispers emerged that the agency itself was fracturing under the pressure. Insiders leaked that several staff members had resigned, unwilling to face the tidal wave of public anger. Rival agencies, sensing blood in the water, reportedly approached Yu Long and Yang Meimei with offers of fresh contracts, promising freedom, respect, and creative control. Whether those promises could be trusted was another matter entirely. Still, the possibility of Yu Long and Yang Meimei stepping into a new chapter of their careers on their own terms ignited fans with hope. Could this be the start of a new era, an era where idols dictated their lives instead of being dictated to? Amid the chaos, one moment stood out above all others: the photograph of Yu Long and Yang Meimei holding hands as they left the press hall. The picture spread like wildfire, appearing on the front page of magazines, plastered across billboards, even projected onto skyscrapers by fans who wanted the world to see their love. It became more than an image, it was a symbol, a declaration that no matter how much they had been silenced, love had survived. Fans who once debated whether their matching bracelets were coincidental now celebrated a truth far greater. This was no longer a story of hidden signals. It was the story of two people who had endured loss, betrayal, and sacrifice, yet still chose each other in the end. But what comes next? That's the question fans are asking, and it's one that remains beautifully, painfully uncertain. Will Yu Long and Yang Meimei take a break from the spotlight to heal and rebuild away from the public eye, or will they confront the storm head-on, using their newfound freedom to create art that speaks to their journey? Already, rumors circulate of scripts being written with them in mind, stories that parallel their own ordeal, filled with forbidden love, loss, and ultimate defiance. Some fans even speculate that they might co-star in a project that reflects their truth, giving the world the most honest performances of their careers. Whether that happens or not, one thing is clear: their names are now etched into the history of entertainment in a way that can never be erased. The agency may have hoped the truth would quell speculation, but instead, it sparked a revolution. Fans no longer want to consume stories passively. They want to participate, to shape narratives, to stand beside the people they admire. The Yu Long and Yang Meimei saga has become a rallying cry, proving that idols are not untouchable gods but flesh and blood humans who deserve to love, grieve, and fight for their own happiness. In that sense, the truth didn't destroy them. It set them free. And now, dear viewers, this is where you come in. Stories like this aren't just headlines. They're part of a living, breathing conversation that continues to unfold every day. At midnight in Seoul, we don't just report the news. We dive deep into the heart of it. We bring you the untold truths, the behind-the-scenes whispers, the fan reactions that shape the world of K-drama and K-celebrity culture. Yu Long and Yang Meimei's revelation is just one chapter in a much larger book, and we're here to guide you through every twist and turn. Imagine where this story could go next. What if YuLong and Yang Meimei decided to expose every clause of their silencing contracts, opening the door for countless other stars trapped in the same system? What if rival agencies fought for them in public, turning their love story into the most powerful bidding war the industry has ever seen? What if, against all odds, they took control of their own destinies and started an independent label, carving out a space where artists could breathe freely without the chains of manipulation? These aren't just possibilities, they're the seeds of the future, and fans like you will be the first to see them grow. At midnight in Seoul, we believe stories like these deserve more than a passing headline. They deserve to be lived, shared, and explored with the passion of the fans who make them possible. That's why we're inviting you, yes, you reading right now, to join our growing community of drama lovers, story chasers, and truth seekers. Subscribe to Midnight in Seoul, and you'll never miss an update on Long, Yang Meimei, or the countless other stars whose journeys continue to inspire and shock us. The story of Long and Yang Meimei isn't over. It's just beginning. And when the next revelation drops, when the next moment leaves fans gasping in awe or heartbreak, you'll want to be right here with us, ready to experience it together. So hit that subscribe button, share this with your fellow fans, and let's continue walking this path side by side. Because in a world where reality feels more dramatic than fiction,